All right. We got coffee. We got Lisa. Thank you again for joining me 2 days in a row. Lisa C. And we got JR, who's the largest landholder in AlienWorlds. It just occurred to me, like, in the future, or there's a non-zero probability that someone just showing up to this YouTube channel is like, what's AlienWorlds? Why is that a big deal? I don't know if we have long enough to talk about it. Like, well, you know, just even to go back to the beginning, right? Like I was part of the Dutch auction in the beginning, and I was like, I don't know what this land nonsense stuff is going to be from AlienWorlds, but like I know, you know, EOS USA was really excited about it, Michael, and you know, all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'll just buy a couple, and like, man, they're so expensive at $75. I think is the cheapest I got mine or whatever. For anyone who doesn't know, like AlienWorlds lands at the peak, I don't know, we're like $18 trillion each or something. I don't. What was the actual peak? Do you guys know? Like per land, like the floor.
The price per land you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I averaged at about $150.
Oh, when you bought it, yeah. No, but at the peak, where like I thought it was like 15 grand or something like that per land.
The lowest at the peak was 4,500.
4,500, yeah, right. And there's still like many thousands of dollars. So I bought 3. I sold one for $800 and literally thought I was stealing from the guy. Like it, that was a lesson for sure. And then I gave one, the first guy to ever put up a gratitude monument in the Uplift. I gave him an AlienWorlds land when they were $1,000, right? And yeah, and then, you know, it goes out to like, I don't know, like 10, 15 grand at one point. It's just like, holy shit. You're welcome. And like, I don't regret it. It was totally worth it. So that's fun. So we've got tons to get into. Basically, like, I just wanted to throw a little caveat in there. Like, AlienWorlds is a big deal. And to be the largest landholder in AlienWorlds is like almost incomprehensible to me. So I guess like JR, we're gonna talk a lot about the circus stuff. You know, apparently there's a big circus tent in Genesis. You know, we should probably you know, go visit at some point or whatever. But like, what got you into AlienWorlds? Like, what was the spark that where you decided, okay, AlienWorlds is where I'm gonna, you know, really plant my flag?
Well, mainly I was following Mike. Was it Mike? I forget his name right now. I just woke up. So, but basically I was following the block producer, EOS DAC.
Okay.
Over from EOS.
Michael Yates.
Yeah. And
Yates. Okay.
Yeah, Yates. And I knew what those guys were doing over there. I didn't get into the DAC myself, but I knew they were a big block producer back in EOS. And the minute I heard they were jumping into Wax and becoming their own project, I quickly went ahead and sold some DAP token that I had. I think I had about 10 or 15,000. And inside my mind, I was like, man, this is going to be like the dumbest thing I've ever done, or it might be the best thing I've ever done. I sold all my DAP token and I moved it all into Wax, and then I just started. My goal was to purchase at 240 with that money at that time. I think I was going to be able to average out. In my mind, was 240 lands approximately. If I was able to get them dirt cheap at about $50, I think, or something like that. Yeah. And I ended up with 140. Because, you know, at the very end, you know, the auctions is auctions, so people are going to be outbidding for the lands, yeah. And at the very end, I ended up with 140, and as time passed along, I did a couple trades with a lot of the Telegram groups, and then I also reinvested some of that at the TLM back into lands. And my goal has been slowly to get it to 200. I think I'm at about a 191 right now or something like that.
That's awesome.
Might be a little bit.
It's like it's baller is what it is. You know, that's amazing. And really it's cool too, because like the you know, I think there's a lot of people that and just correct me if I'm wrong here, JR. There's a lot of people that are new to our ecosystem that have never been through a crypto winter before. And it sounds like following Yates, like you must have been following Yates kind of in the last crypto winter, right? When things were a little bit cooler, right? And like to have kind of run through, you know, that winter when, you know, there wasn't a whole lot going on in EOS, but that was sort of the same thing for me. Like I was in the EOS community and finding the people that just wouldn't quit, right? And I started volunteering for projects or whatever. But it really gets to that point where you're watching the people that are constantly, you know, building and iterating through those downtimes. And that's always, you know, not always, but very often can provide some pretty amazing alpha.
Correct. And back in the days, I started in the Genesis days with EOS, and You know, every time I earned a paycheck, if I had $50 extra, I would buy some wax or some DApp token and things like that. And eventually, you know, you create a little savings inside the crypto, and that's where you start to move up slowly. And you know, people say if it doesn't go down if you don't sell. So
that's so true. I wish we could just inject that, like just gift wrapped it, make a little Christmas present, and just give it to literally everyone, right? Like if you look at the annual lows for Bitcoin, anyone who sells Bitcoin is a lunatic, right?
Correct.
Unless you're selling right at the top or whatever, and you buy a house, fine, right? But like people that that are selling at those lows or buying in, at the highs and selling at the lows, which it happens, right? People get caught up in the excitement. You're gonna buy at 60, and then suddenly it's at like 25 or 30 or whatever it is, right? Like the only thing, you haven't lost money unless you sell, right? Just sit around for 4-8 years max, and you're going to be good. And that's not true for every project, right? Because like it's like Silicon Valley startup time, and a lot of projects, people are going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall, and a lot of these projects are going to fail, right? But aren't we privileged that we get to literally invest in any of them without needing $250,000 liquid, so that our babysitters in the government can tell us whether or not we can invest in things? Anyways, little diatribe. We got a lot of stuff to get into with this circus thing, so I want to get into that. But before we go too far, we have this little tradition on our show where we throw gratitudes up on the wall, and I would be honored if we could get one up for you this morning, JR. So it could be big, small, inconsequential, the most important thing in the universe, doesn't matter. What are you grateful for right now?
I am very grateful for I guess being the biggest landowner right now. I think it's brought me a lot of it's brought me a little bit of recognition, even though nobody has seen my face, but people have gotten to know the name JR, which I never thought that would happen. And then one of the things that has happened was with becoming with moving into AlienWorlds, I was able to grow my I guess my crypto holdings because of AlienWorlds. So very grateful to everybody involved, to the whole community, to the federation actually. And I can't wait for what's coming next. They're working on the Planet DAOs. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that AlienWorlds has to offer.
Yeah, I agree. We just launched the Uplift DAO about 5 weeks ago. Man, it feels like a year.
Wow. Feels like months.
Right? It feels like a really long time. And it's been amazing. The amount of sort of creativity and passion that has existed in our community for a long time, to see it channeled the way it's been is just like woohoo. And I know that like I wouldn't have been thinking about DAOs as much as I was, or been so excited to like just dive in and try it, if it wasn't for AlienWorlds and Lisa and Max. I mean, frankly, mostly Lisa and Max, but that's why when AlienWorlds started talking about DAOs, that's why I was so interested in it. Like what is this sort of form of human collaboration going to look like? And I got really stoked about it. So anyway, for me, I'm grateful for those who commit to this space long term. Lisa Chandler, what are you grateful for? By the way, JR, if you have any more, if like you just throw them out. Like
those are hard
do
to
as many gratitudes as we want. You can never have too many gratitudes. It's just the whole thing.
Well, I'm obviously grateful for JR. I mean, I could say for JR's giving back. I could say for JR's lands, but just JR has been here since, I mean, obviously the beginning, whatever that beginning is. EOS is sort of on our, I guess, timeline, the beginning of a lot of our games. And but yet it's inspirational because it's the beginning of a lot of things right now, and people are going to get to say they were here now in the future. So this is we're building examples that are going to change the world and hopefully make it better for everyone to access what they need in a way that's enjoyable. And it's kind of a deep concept, but having examples like JR that can inspire us, and then seeing how he gets involved in the community brings everyone back together. It's what it's all about. So I'm grateful for JR.
Absolutely. All right. So I wanted to take a look on the map to see if I could find the big circus tent. Do you know where it is?
Yeah, it's on that document. 2650.
Oh, okay, cool.
1650.
2650 what?
1650. Thanks to Mello. Mello built it.
Nice. 2650. I put that in wrong. Mea culpa. 2650. That's what I did it again. 90. 1650. Boink.
Wait, can you just jump places?
I can.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
Being there you go. Anders is here. JR is the master of diamond hands. For real. Hey, Dark Galaxies, how's it going, man? I'll throw that gratitude up a little bit later. Just wanted to get over to the circus tent. There. Oh, is that
hey guys.
The banana dudes over there? Awesome. So you guys, you said Mello built this for you?
Yeah.
Awesome. How shiny it is. Also, I'm very easily amused. What's up, Anders? By the way. Man, I don't know what's going on here. What's the plan with this plot?
Well, we got to let the community decide. We're definitely adding the NFTs that are dropping on JR's lands. So we'll see those up soon, and people can link to those projects, through a sign. But then we'll see what people want to do. We're obviously going to have a circus.
Right? Yeah, I like it. Even doing like whipping up events where like we could put up examples for the NFTs or promotions for any of this stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's quite a few characters involved in this project, which you can read about, like the tiger and the poodles and such. And they definitely have a lot going on backstage. And so we're going to get to hear and see about that. One of the best things about the Uplift world is you can do exactly like you're doing now, which is show and film.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely going to play with that and experiment with that and get people NFTs through that. So
cool.
It's going to be fun.
All right. So walk us through. I just wanted to check that out over there. So walk us through the main idea behind what was the thing that sparked the idea, JR, of giving back. I mean, that's ultimately, it seems to me like that's the main sort of thing that's going on with with the circus idea is, you've got all these lands, great, now you want to give back. Like what started that? What's kind of the big idea behind that?
Well, since the very beginning, I've been trying to get people to mine the mine lands, right? And I've been offering some projects, just a few that I feel more comfortable with. Splitting the TLM with them, whatever the community ends up mining, we end up splitting the TLM with them. But I haven't been too successful in it, I guess, in the approach, right? Even though the TLM is splitting the TLM with them, it's free, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially. So then Lisa came in and we started working together, and that's where I think it helped. I gave her my ideas, and she came out with a plan, and here we are.
That's awesome. So basically, and the idea for those who don't know, like anyone can kind of pick what land they're gonna mine on AlienWorlds. Oh, hey, hold on. Apparently somebody is freaking my dogs out. I'll be back in a few seconds. Talk amongst yourselves.
Time for breakfast for the dogs. This is when Babs brings the food in for the dog.
I had to put my dog in too, because, well, not my dog, but my family's dog in, because they have an inside dog and he's barking all over the place. It took me a while to lock him up.
I've got mine right here. He's sleeping though. He's used to that.
No one gets excited when people are here, so I'm visiting family right now. I just came over from a long trip that I was in.
Good. Yeah, I know. We're very lucky. We got you for a minute in between travels. So thanks for that.
So let's see how long this battery lasts in my.
Okay, good.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
What were we talking about?
Dog.
Yeah, anyone knocks on the door here, and the smaller dog, just like, oh my god, Hacks murderers are here to kill us all, and just goes insane. Anyway, and my wife is not here this morning, so what are you gonna do?
Giving back. I think we were talking about giving back.
Yes, we were. Well, I mean, like, so you have all this TLM coming in, and this is where like the altruism of that kind of thing, I have always loved, right? Because we have all this stuff coming in. What's the first thing we can do with it? But it seems like even from a pragmatic point of view, turning some of that TLM into attention, right? So you know, you could just have it sit there and that's fine, right? But like the price of any token is going to, you know, and this is just my personal theory, but it's going to be dictated by the number of active wallets and the number of meaningful transactions, right? So if you're increasing the number of people that are holding TLM or are aware of TLM or, you know, are, you know, getting meaningful transactions, which basically means like I have this project that, you know, we're giving out NFTs, you know, that's going to be good for the project where you own the most land, right? So that's good. But the way you're doing it is also really good for those NFT projects because it's doing the same thing in reverse for them, right? Which is why these collabs are kind of such an elegant way to keep moving the ball forward.
That was one of the main ideas, is to see if we can market their project, you know, one of the biggest projects out there, AlienWorlds.
Right.
But you know, some of the projects is a little bit hard for them to trust you or know what you're doing. So there's where Lisa came in and decided to build a website and, you know, started coming up with this. Now hopefully the main thing is to get them to the projects to deliver some of their NFTs to get to market their product, and then the circus thing can be like in the background. You know, that's something extra for them.
I like it a lot. So I mean, I almost feel like we should, like, you know, it seems like you guys already have a list. So I want to make sure that, you know, any of the up and coming, you know, NFT projects that are grinding out have a chance to do this stuff. But if you ever want to do a collab with the Uplift, I'd be happy to help write the DAO proposal for that, because I think everybody would be super into it.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it. We should do it now.
I mean, keep threatening me with a good time, Lisa Chandler.
Wait, DAO proposal? What?
Right, man. We had. And I got to dig into some of the results, but we, you know, obviously had this little thing. Mojang decided to you know, try and kick everybody who was using their platform for metaverse in the nards. Luckily, they missed our nards specifically, but you know, it obviously put a shockwave through everything that we're doing, and so we had a bunch of DAO proposals to kind of, you know, reassess where we as the Uplift we're going to go, and it ended up being really, really awesome. We ended up having 14 DAO proposals over the course of a weekend. You know, everybody going in and voting on them and stuff, and we just got all the results on all those in the last little while. So yeah, I mean.
It works.
Oh, man.
The people actually can govern resources.
I mean, you know, check back in 6 months. Like, I think so, but we'll see. It's the you know, and obviously we've got an open book policy on our books now as well, which is something I always wanted to do, and my old partners didn't want that. Now we know why. But
it's
you know, I think
story there, isn't there?
Oh man. One I'm not legally allowed to tell. So, but the difference for me anyway, I think for the community, certainly, like the idea that we can, you know, cultivate an actual understanding of where we are. Like, this is, you know, a legitimately challenging situation for a lot of projects, right? That, you know, are starting from scratch right now, you know, in the bear market, or are, you know, just dealing with the bear market the way it is. But I've never been more optimistic, which is super weird, right? And it really is, because no matter where we're at, everybody now knows in our community where we're at, right? So we're not dealing with like a lack of understanding or whatever. Like, it's all super clear, and we all get to decide together how to move forward. And that's a really, really good feeling. And, you know, I mean, that, you know, I'm going to be posting up, I think probably tonight. You know, we've got, I think, 8 different maps. We're going to start world DAOs for every single one of the maps in the Uplift. Well, I'm going to put up a proposal that I wrote, and we'll see if it gets passed. I have a suspicion that it will. But yeah, I mean, it's having this idea just start to branch out and get even more, just keep iterating, keep trying different things with DAOs. It's really exciting. Anyway, so Anders has the important question. How does JR drink his coffee?
Yeah.
I gotta have milk. I gotta have milk in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Where does this? Anders? Why did you ask that question? Not that it isn't the obvious, most important question that anyone could ask in this moment, for sure. So yeah, okay, milk, no sugar, just milk.
Yeah, just milk.
Okay.
Just
Lisa, how do you take your coffee?
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream. All right.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
And I cannot have powdered milk or anything like that. It has to be milk.
Oh no. Yeah.
For myself.
Real milk, not that dehydrated nonsense.
Yeah, not the little packs. I can't stand the packs.
Fair enough. He has a cup in the show.
Keep the technology on the blockchain, not in our food.
Anders just stole my line. He drinks black coffee like his soul. That's I just or it's like it's minimalist coffee, Anders, or something. I don't know. Every once in a while, I put honey in mine, and it's really good. Black this morning, though.
What communities think about the important stuff in life.
Yeah, no, this is the vital stuff. It's like Eddie Izzard that said, like, how do you like your coffee? Same as I like my women, black in a cup with a spoon. It's funnier.
I'm not sure that quite works. But
it doesn't. Okay. That's why he's a comedian. It's funnier when a comedian says it, sandwiched in other jokes for context. As opposed to me just like stuff out on its own.
Got it.
So this one starts this one's going on right now. Tell us about the thing that's happening right now and how can people be part of it?
Go ahead, Lisa, you can take this one.
Okay. Like which one do you want to get? Okay. So basically people can mine on AlienWorlds. We're using the AlienWorlds platform to do the mining. Which means any of JR's lands, and there's some just right at the top on the website there, or you can open up the planets and pick one on the planet of your choice. If you prefer Veles or Magor or Neri or any of the 6 planets, like Neron, Icy Mountain number 3, 3516, for example. And if you
is there like
really,
a you can click it right there.
Yeah, they're all on there. And if you're really into like the numbers and statistics, I know some people are, the AlienWorlds blueprint on their website, alienworlds.io, has a link at the bottom to like all the statistics of what lands are better for what. And you can try to set it so that you can hit it right at the top of the hour, what we call the big top. So if you mine right at the top, you click mine and then you click claim. Bless you. And if you click claim right at the top of the hour, you might be one of the first 10 that hour to mine. And if so, you qualify to get the 2 NFTs. And so every week it'll be that, unless it's different. It's the top 10 unless, for some reason it's 5 or less NFTs. But this week it's 10 per hour. So that's 1,680 people a week get 2 NFTs. And the 2 NFTs they get are the Community of the Week's NFT. And this week it's Lisa's Coffee Shop. I wanted to make sure everything worked the first week, of course.
Right.
Also, I wanted to launch Lisa's Coffee Shop. I mean, we've been in Telegram, but the NFTs. And also the first of JR's Land Circus NFTs, which is the circus sign.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah, it's relatively simple once you get the concept.
Right.
And then
that's like, I remember, Anders doing a bunch of stuff. And it was like Kinder Miners. I think Max had my land in Kinder Miners for a minute. And it was basically just like a community effort to get, because people can mine on any land, right? So like, how do you promote it so that people will come in and mine on yours? And this just seems like a really fun way to do that. Actually,
I have to give Anders credit, because if I'm not mistaken, and EOS USA Michael and I checked this once, but Anders first proposed the idea of a community drop on AlienWorlds land on miners. if I'm not mistaken. However, Robert and I were in the official chat, and Robert said, I want to drop an empty beer can on my land, and I made him one, and he got those out right away and faster than the one Anders had proposed. I'm not saying which one Anders proposed. That's up to him to share that private info. No, I'm kidding. It was in the original chat, but it was Cabal related, so I won't. Anyway.
So what's the Cabal?
JR, do you want to take that one?
Rumor is there's a secret organization, secret group to help elevate AlienWorlds.
Huh.
That's about all I know.
All right, cool. Well, I certainly have never been in the secret back office of the Cabal. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Awkward silence.
I've heard rumors in the early days of AlienWorlds, the official chats, and it's all there. You can look back if you want to spend the time to travel back there. But there were lots of rumors about early players gathering to influence things, if I'm not mistaken, especially on the planet of Cavion.
Well, right. Well, so is there any sort of updated timeline for when the World DAOs come out? And when all that actually starts? Because that's when the Cabal's going to go from rumor to like, oh, we own planets. What's up?
Well, it's a funny thing because I think what you're asking about essentially is the technology, which is coming through the AlienWorlds game, right? And we don't know what comes out when. But aside from that, there's a player layer, not to alliterate, but where we can do anything we want for the most time. Yeah, right. I know. I was going to say soon. What do you mean? There's only one answer to that question, which is soon.
Yep. We said it so much that we say soon now, and there's actually a world.
I know. And I was so excited to find it was creative. I got to land immediately. Anyway, so it's like, if there's creative out there, tell me right away. Anyway, but so we can do things now, right? Like there's no reason we can't do something on any of the planets. And so I know a lot of communities have alliances and are starting to think more and more about that. But just like JR is doing with JR's lands, like players can give rewards to other players. And if you hear his story, it's so fabulous because it comes from tokens. Like he had some tokens and he turned them into game tokens and he turned those into different game tokens and on and on and on to create this, fabulous empire that now can give back to all these players. Like what an incredible example. So, I wouldn't say wait for the technology. I mean, start now, have an advantage.
Oh, yeah. I'm always just curious when that stuff's coming out because I think that's when
all curious.
Things like the Cabal, I think, are going to jump to the fore. But you're absolutely right. Like that,
maybe
at no point should people be sitting around. No, I mean I have a strong suspicion. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Or maybe not. Whatever. Who knows, right? Like I don't know. Like
maybe someone will compete with them.
No, that's the whole thing. Definitely, someone will compete with them. If not,
there might be a force from the dark galaxies that come forward to compete.
Right, JR. Sorry, could you repeat that, JR?
Oh, there was other groups at the beginning. I remember. I can't remember the names right now, but I know there was a couple other groups in different planets that were teaming up, to get the planet DAOs going. But things take time, so they're probably out there still, just waiting for the time.
Right, and again, like to Lisa's point, don't wait, and you guys aren't right. Like I think you guys are an awesome example of taking the sort of the state of play as it is right now and making something cool out of it, right? Like you've got, multi-platform, stuff on the Uplift, most of the stuff, the gameplay mechanics going on AlienWorlds, which is, obviously very, very robust. Yeah, I mean that, I think it's an exciting thing, especially considering like the people that do the kinds of stuff that you guys are going to, that you guys are doing now. By the time those World DAOs come out, it just means that you're in a better position to play around with that and potentially even dominate.
You know, a lot of it's experimentation, and it comes out of maybe the Crown legacy. Crown is still experimenting, and they're, you know, getting a head start. Dwayne's doing a lot of interesting things with Fractally and governance. And there's a lot, you know, starting to go on, but that history of experimentation that came out of the Crown community, I think, continues to stay with me and with us in many ways, where we don't have to make one big giant thing that doesn't succeed, right? We can experiment. This is still early days, and we're trying to find, you know, really a replacement for traditional marketing, right? A way that is win-win to engage people, or win-win-win, as Eleanor Brewer once taught me, but to engage people in games, you know, in community. If you're in a community, how are people going to engage? And this is so important for the future, right? Like, we've been in communities for as long as man has been around, but what does it mean now, and what does it mean in the future? It means that we can collectively gather resources and share them among each other and others. And that means a lot. That's food, that's housing, that's hopes and dreams, that's generational changes. It's a big deal. And we've seen it through AlienWorlds. We've seen the impact, and it's, you know, now we get to scale it. We're still experimenting though. So
yeah, no, I think like this is one of the things that's been coming up with Uplift, you know, over the last couple of weeks. I mean, iteration is key, right? Like, we need to be able to try, you know, new things. And we're in the situation now where you know, iteration is, you know, on the platform thing, like, we're having to do that. And I'm trying to think about it in terms of, you know, wherever we go, however we set up, iterating is key. So getting stuck on one platform is very, very bad, right? Even though, like, within one sort of game platform for metaverse platform, however you want to think about it, you know, there's a lot of things that we can do on the DAO side, on the game mechanic side, yada yada. Right? There's constantly things that we can iterate, you know, across those lines. But even just be able to iterate the actual form, right? Because I can't stop thinking about, and I think there's probably, you know, analogies to, you know, the play to earn space, you know, for AlienWorlds, and the DAO space for everybody soon, right? Going from 1 meter blocks at Uplift to 10 centimeter blocks. And how do we do that, right? From 10 centimeter blocks to 1 centimeter blocks. And we're using the metric system because, come on, America.
We'll be in photons before long,
right? It's only a matter of time.
Oh wait, we are.
Right? Yeah. So, you know, and thinking about that in terms of like, what's, because I don't even know. So, you know, and Lisa, you've been thinking about DAOs longer than I have. I'm just now, I feel like I'm catching up to the, because, you know, learning by doing or whatever, right? Like, I'm in one. We're kind of doing the work. We're sort of getting up to speed on how that feels and what the challenges are and what the benefits are. Yeah, right. What's the next iteration? Like, what do DAOs look like 12 months from now, in our ecosystem, or just generally? Because I know you feel super passionately about this, because you're seeing it as a possibility for humankind to get more local, to collaborate more locally, to give people trust in their form of collaborations. And I am so on that train with you. Like, that it's such a beautiful idea that it's worth doing whatever it takes to iterate towards that. But where do you think we're going to be at in DAO space in a year?
Lots more. Lots more decentralized, autonomous communities making decisions, and micro decisions more and more. I mean, at this point, we're at the proposal level, which that mechanism will still continue, but like most things, it'll get more mass. It'll allow for more of the decisions to be made. And hope, I mean, I don't know if it's in the next year, but hopefully soon we'll be able to advise our, AI companions to interact for us in those realms, and be able to interact in many, many thousands of DAOs, maybe even millions. And those DAOs will have representation in others. You know, I imagine in the future, if JR has a really good idea for one of the planets, you know, he has a forum to mention to the other communities, and for them to mention to their communities the idea.
Yeah.
And not only to cause them to do it, but like you say, two-way, get the feedback of how to improve it,
right,
or change it, or if it shouldn't be done. So there's some really great dynamics, and I think that's going to take over our lives. I think that will replace work as we have known it.
I like it. It's funny too that going back, JR, to, you know, you've got all these lands, you got this trillion coming in, you're basically marketing your lands, right? You're not waiting for AlienWorlds to do that for you. You're doing it yourself. And, you know, a huge function of that is, you know, connecting with all these communities to do these events. And I think that turns into a network effect for you and your organization and just your community, right? The community around your lands or what have you. And that turns into attention. And that, I think, is a currency like no other, right? One of the things we're starting to see already is like some people are going to be super into DAOs and some won't, right? Like some just want to play the Uplift, and, you know, just kind of hang out, build stuff or whatever. They don't really care, right? They super duper cared when you can complain without doing any work. And now that anybody who complains, cool, make a proposal, they're suddenly very silent, and I like it. But that, you know, like that, the attention that you're building, right? Like when there's 100 DAOs, 1,000 DAOs, right? The ability to marshal attention for stuff that you care about, JR, might end up being pivotal, right? So like you could be earning in, you know, the currency of the future, as well as, you know, increasing your network.
Right. And one of the things that I'm very excited about is, have you guys actually seen how much trillium those planets have accumulated? I think Neri has about 30 million or something like that. So it's going to get interesting. It's going to get very interesting. There's going to be a lot of funds in there. So people can can expand, you know, see what kind of projects we can bring into AlienWorlds and things like that. So there's a lot of ideas, you know, just waiting on the Federation to release that.
Right. Come on, Federation.
I mean, what would you do with millions of whatevers, you know? What would people do for the world? I mean, that's a valid question. Like, okay, everyone says, well, if I had this, if I had that, and it's, you know, if I win the lottery, right? Okay. Well, after you take care of yourself for the future, what would you do? This is a chance to do that anyway. You don't need to wait.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the real trick. There's going to be people that kind of fall off. Like, you know, I haven't heard from the Crypto Monkeys guys recently either, and I hope to. They're a huge fan.
But I'm sure they're there because Neri is one of the biggest planets that's holding all that TLM. So I'm sure they're there somewhere.
They're still paying attention. Yeah. That's like, to me, and again, I think like people taking a bit of a breather, right? Like that might be the way to go. I should probably do that at some point. But it seems to me that the people that are like constantly grinding out iterations of how to play, you know, in this space are just going to be better positioned once those things actually get turned on, like whenever that is, right? To actually move forward, because it's not like it's not going to happen. It's just, you know, it's soon.
You know what? People don't have to wait. You know, like if you have a bunch of Crypto Monkeys cards and you care about Neri, go do something. You don't have to wait for banana. Like, go ahead and do it. Like, I have a lot of bats. I was just talking about building a bat cave for my ultra rare bats. You know, like I think we sometimes put too much expectation on the creators of a game. Like someone yesterday was talking about trust. I'm like, why would you trust anyone ever? Like, why? Like, no, go take it, trust yourself, take it into your own hands and build something, you know, and see, and don't spend money, right? Like that's the other thing. I've noticed people who spend traditional cash dollars get grouchy really easily. Like, don't do that, you know. Take your token. I mean, I'm sure use cases for it, but you know, if you want to play, use tokens. People give you tokens. People gave me tokens. You gave me tokens, Corey, when I was starting to play. I made an NFT of my dog, and you gave me some tokens, and it was worth a lot. And I was like, wow, I like this. Let's do more of that, you know. So it's there's some ways that make it more fun and make it a little bit easier to play and enjoy it and imagine what could come of it and what good things we could do. because of it. You know, JR's perspective came from he wanted to share and give with the others, but the model is such that it provides marketing opportunities so that he can benefit too. So isn't that a better way, where the alleged consumer, or in this case player, traditionally consumer, in this case player, is benefiting as much as the person who's doing the marketing or messaging, right? That's what a fascinating new model. And the more we can do experiments around it and prove it, the more people will copy it, and the world will become a better place.
Sign me up.
Well, go mine. Play.alienworlds.io.
Yeah, man, it's
go mine.
I haven't thought about Alien Worlds mining in a long time, and I probably will do it today.
It's 13 minutes till the top of the hour, and that's when you want to click claim. So go log in, get ready, click your mine and get your claim button ready for right at top of the hour.
Sounds good. So the community NFTs, like the NFTs you guys are going to be doing, obviously Lisa's coffee shop and the circus tickets are this week, which is fun. So it looks like Art Vending Machine is next week, and Joe Chupetta is like a huge uplifter. Has at least one of the best galleries in the space. I think it was like the biggest build in Gratitude for a long time. And I freaking love that guy. He's one of the guys that I think was working with the events committee to start the new art walk that's going on weekly now.
Yeah.
Where people gather in the Uplift once a week. I think it's on Thursdays. But you can check with the events committee in the Discord to see exactly when it is. And they go through different galleries every week. So when you get a bunch of stuff up in your circus, you should potentially think about maybe getting added into the art walk thing.
Definitely. We want to make sure we have the final NFT that's being designed for each of the communities, so they'll go up at the end of each week, most likely.
I like it. Michael B is saying make sure you're synced with the global NTP servers for best chance. What is an NTP server? Okay, crickets. Good. That sounds fancy. Maybe Anders can help us with that one.
Time sync.
What's that?
Time sync.
Well, you want to time sync? Oh, like because you want to time sync. Probably you want to time sync your browser if it's not synced, just so that you actually, when the actual atomic clock ticks over.
Oh, yes.
That makes sense. Thanks,
right.
Mike.
So that you're right at UTC. Yes.
Yeah.
Because the UTC is being pulled at EOS USA Games is doing that. And so they will have very good time sync, I'm sure.
All right. So the week after that is Marisol Vengas.
Right. If your machine is delayed, right.
I know that.
Yay. Awesome. Those are $5 an hour for that week. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because they're very limited number available.
Yeah, thanks, Michael B. If your machine is, I am USA. Okay, that's
it's you.
I had a feeling that was the case, but you kept talking about yourself in the third person. It was really freaking me out.
That's hysterical.
Good talk. All right, cool.
He's on a different name today. Okay.
Yeah. So Galactica Helier Quartz. Who's that? I don't know if I've heard about those guys.
Puma Galactica.
Oh shit! So didn't Puma make the frickin' Luminia build?
Yes, he's one of the first to really build out in the Uplift. You know him well.
That's nuts. If I'm not mistaken, EOS EOS is behind that one. That's one of my favorite builds. There's a great video up. If you go to the Uplifters YouTube page, it's on the cinematic shorts playlist. It's just beautiful. It's really cool.
EOS USA built it for them. That's right.
Yeah. And then September 4th is Dark Galaxy's fusion capacitor tool. That sounds fancy.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job with that game. It's similar to Alien Worlds in many ways, and the founder was early team member at Alien Worlds as well, and so has some of that same spirit in it. But it has different game mechanics, and so that's super interesting, and it's very fun. And so they're gonna give away some tools so people can play for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm playing that one too. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I haven't messed around with that one yet. So that's fun.
They're super nice guys and really committed. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, is there anything else? And JR, thanks for coming on. I mean, we'll have you guys have you guys on regularly as we get some updates on how the circus stuff is going. It's really good to meet you. Is there anything else that we haven't covered, guys, that we should share with people before we break?
Well, I should say that we do not support animal cruelty or oppression in any way. And although we are using a circus theme, there are no animals being harmed in the production at all. And a matter of fact, in studying the circus history, it is amazing how similar it is to the crypto history. And we'll share more about that in the future. But, if you watch The Greatest Showman or some of the YouTube videos about the circus history, you can see how over time it evolved to become more a celebration of different people and species and talents, and less of forcing people through oppression to perform, which is much like work on Earth for humans, as well as an analogy. And so I think we're going to really enjoy, sharing some thoughts about that analogy as we celebrate the evolution of circus. It's only 2 or 3 years since circuses have been banned from using wild animals. I mean, it's that recent. So it really, it's very similar to like freeing people from oppressive situations to play games instead in many ways. As we know, stress is the #1 killer. And so there are some real serious analogies that can cause some thinking about it. So we are hoping to help reinvent the concept of circus and honor its evolution and those who have come before, as well as improve life on Earth.
All right. How would you, JR?
I just want to say thank you to Lisa. She's the brains behind all this. Basically, I'm just the landowner. I know nothing about tech. The ideas, everything's Lisa. So if there's any other projects out there that need some help, I would definitely contact Lisa on it and see if they can, she and her team can help you guys. You know what? This has been, how long have we been trying to get this going? About 2-3 months, I think.
Something like that, a little while.
Yeah, waiting for approvals and things like that. So hopefully it plans out. Like I say, I would, to the miners out there, I would say focus on what the projects bring in. Not necessarily the circus NFTs, but focus on the projects that are giving you those NFTs to start it and to notice, to recognize the projects out there. And then the circus thing comes second. If we're able to do something with the circus, that's great. For the projects out there, you don't lose nothing by coming and marketing your project with us. You get half of the TLM that gets mined by the public. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. And and hopefully you guys can build a little bit of TLM, because I think the TLM is going to be, I think the good things are coming to AlienWorlds maybe by the end of the year. I'm guessing. I'm hoping.
Soon.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. All right. Well, yeah, we'll definitely have you back, in a month or two to kind of get an update for where you guys are at. And yeah, I'm excited for AlienWorlds too. I mean,
thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh man, JR, thanks for coming on, and Lisa, thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
And no animal cruelty in circuses.
Nope.
Bang.
Thank you guys.
All right. Cheers.